I've got everything figured out and I know what to do and I'm at the right course and I just have every bit of knowledge for me to get where I want. But there's a problem. I seem to continue to be doing things that will not get me anywhere. Even though I know, like, I don't have that desire, I don't have that energy to do those things that will get me somewhere. And this is a huge problem for most of us. Like, having knowledge, as much as you have it, but you have no action, it doesn't mean anything. Like, if you have knowledge to have this huge business, but you don't put effort or anything to do it, and someone just have a little knowledge to just open a small sponsor shop, that person is way more better than you. And it's so sad that most of us, we have resources, we have like the right package of knowledge to reach our dreams or our goals, but we always saying we don't have energy to do that. We spend hours and hours and effort on things that we know that are not right for us, but yet we continue. So let's face reality. We know that we are just like that, and this generation is mostly like that. So in today's video, I'm going to address how we can detox that, and it's called dopamine detox.
Look at the shit that we doing. Motivate yourself. 100. Brace yourself. I ain't got my motherfucking juice.
Welcome guys, this is Check Your Mate, and it's your boy Checkmate. As usual, I'm checking my mate. So yeah, today's topic is how to stay consistent, how to stay motivated to do what you have to do to reach your goals. So yeah, I wanna tell you what to do so that you always have that desire to do what you have to do, because most of us, we know what to do, but we always stuck on things that we know they're not gonna get us anywhere, and we know that, but we don't do that. So yeah guys, and thank you for being with me on this channel, and if you're new, please subscribe, comment, like, and share the video. And if you missed the past 2 weeks videos, there's a link on the description, so you can hit that and watch them, because this series is so good. Check Your Mate. And then yeah, we'll continue every week to release videos that will help you guys. So starting with today's video, you know that it's hard to study or to give time for your side business or go to stream or that, but to be streaming internet, go to watch series, play video games, or watch pornography on internet. But to do things that will help you in life, it's much more difficult. But some other people do it. So are we like, are other people destined to do good, and are we destined to just stay like that, or what? But today I have the answer to that, so I will need the Checkmate paper of truth. Okay, so to start with this, today I will be more scientific, just bear with me, but I'll try to explain in a much understandable way so you get what I'm trying to say. So watch this video till the end, because like, yeah, that will really help you, because I've got everything figured out. I don't just make videos, I make videos that I did research and so on. So yeah, let's get on to it. So okay, your brain have a neurotransmitter that it's called dopamine. So this neurotransmitter, it is released every time when it is released every time when you get like, it gives it, some say it's a pleasure neurotransmitter, but it's not really a pleasure neurotransmitter, it's a desire neurotransmitter. It's like a reward to your brain, like when you do something that is much more fun or it's satisfying to you, you get a release of dopamine. So literally everything releases dopamine, but the level of dopamine that it's released, it differs on the activity. So mainly behaviors that gives rewards just right after doing them, they are the ones that have high dopamine, that releases high dopamine. But those ones that you don't get the reward right after doing them, that's like studying, when you're going to write a test tomorrow and then the marks come when that's, they release low dopamine. So okay, an example of high dopamine releasing, it's like a drug addict, because like, where drugs don't just make you high, like they they release an imbalanced amount of dopamine. So that's why you continue to need them, because like whenever you take drugs, you have that huge amount of dopamine, and then when you come to living normal, your brain, like normal things won't release that much of dopamine, so it's a bit of a disorder. So that's why you become addicted and you don't function when you don't have drugs, because you need that dopamine. But it's your brain, you can train it, you can restructure it. So yeah, so okay, with that being said, with dopamine, your body have your body have this tendency called hormones, what calls homeostasis, like it's a mechanism. So homeostasis, it keeps your internal and physical parts and chemical parts in a balance. So whenever there's a condition which is not balanced, it will try to balance it. As an example, when it's cold, your blood goes away from your skin. Actually, it comes to next to your skin, so that you feel warm and you shiver to keep warm. So that's homeostasis. It's regulating the heat so that you keep on 37 degrees Celsius or 98 Fahrenheit. But when it's hot, your blood goes away from your skin, and then you sweat to try to release that heat. So it occurs the same way when it comes to dopamine, to dopamine releases. So when you do activities that release high dopamine, your dopamine receptors, like they downshift, like the homeostasis regulated, because like now you're having this huge amount of dopamine. So the receptors downshift. So when they downshift, it's like you are getting used to high dopamine, like to the release of high dopamine. A good example of this is someone who drinks alcohol, let's say I'm talking about, okay, let's go to homeostasis. Someone who drinks alcohol more often needs more drinks to get drunk. So it's tolerance. Homeostasis do tolerance things, like your body tolerate things. So even if you don't drink alcohol more often, one glass you can get drunk, because your body is not used to that. So homeostasis tolerate that alcohol if you consume too much of an alcohol. So yeah, it works the same way in the dopamine. So the more you release high dopamine, you get used to high dopamine. So things that are release low dopamine, you get bored, like you won't do them. You won't have that desire to do those stuff. So yeah. So yeah, dopamine doesn't really care if you're harming yourself or what. As long as you it releases dopamine, your brain, you enjoy the thing. That's why drug addicts, they always stay on drugs. Even us who we are addicted to cell phones, you know that you're waiting for a message to pop up, you're always looking in it, you're always scrolling and all those stuff. Like that's some sort of addiction. You always do that and have that desire, because your brain is structured in a way that it knows that this releases high dopamine and it needs it. So it's some sort of addiction. So the question is, what do we do to prevent that dopamine? So okay, I think I said a lot of science things, which yeah, I hope you understand. But okay, yeah, what do we do for us to get back to normal? So we do something called a dopamine detox. So how is dopamine detox going to work? So you choose a day, maybe on a week you choose one day that you try to, actually not try, you do it. You choose a day in a week that all these things that release high dopamine, you cancel them, like you're not doing them these days. Like you don't be on your phone, on your computer. You just try to do normal daily things. And it's gonna be pretty boring while like you left your phone, your computer and all, but that's the point. You have to get bored so that boring things becomes fun to do. So yeah, you have to choose a day in a week, and then when you choose that day, you try to do normal things. So during this day, you can take a walk, meditate, reflect on your dreams, stuff like that. But you try to do away with anything that releases high dopamine, anything that it's much like playing video games, what. So if you think that's too hard for you, you can do this. How can you do this? Or if you think that's too hard for you, you must make sure, you must detox yourself, like use the dopamine releasing into your advantage. Like anything that is that releases high dopamine, make sure that you do it after, as a reward of something that you have done, that you put in work to. Maybe you are a student, you first study certain chapter, and then after you reward yourself with the internet or video games. So if you structure your brain like that, that those higher dopamine things you get them after you, like if you structure your brain right that way, that those high dopamine things you'll get them after you put in work on something, you will get used to it, and it will work for you, because now you will be like a habit. If you repeat something for 20 times for 20 days, it will become a habit. So you know that I have to put in work, do something so serious, then I reward myself. Do this, then I reward myself. Because if you start by rewarding yourself, it's, if I start watching a series, it releases high dopamine, and then I won't start because that releases low dopamine, because like I already have something that my brain enjoys so much, so I can't go to something that it's lower, you see. So you have to start with that and then do something that releases high dopamine afterwards. Yeah. So another thing is, like, it's best to do away with anything that releases high dopamine. If you are a drug addict, I prefer that you seek professional help, because yeah, you've been experiencing high level of dopamine, and yeah, it's abnormal. So yeah, you need professional help. So guys, if you find this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the ring. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I know this video was pretty long, but I had to explain a lot of things. So see you next week. Bye.